Hey guys, welcome to another BMW motorcycle build. Now before I get into the detail of all the fabrication that I've planned for this bike, I wanted to give you a little backstory on how this particular bike came to be. Now I'm no stranger to the R9T platform, and you might remember the BMW R Nine T that I built. This was one that I experimented to see if I could style a motorcycle as I would my drift car, and I think I proved that TE37s can look good on just about anything. During that build, I got to know the boxer power plant and started appreciating how simple and reliable these oil-cooled engines really are. From there, I wondered why we don't see too many BMW choppers, and this kicked off a relentless 2-year build which saw me build my own chassis, suspension, wheels, and just about everything else around the brand new power plant supplied by BMW. Through all of these builds, I built a relationship with BMW motorcycles and have had some incredible two-wheeled experiences as a result. Now this particular bike that I'm building has a story dating back to 2018, where I was invited to ride in a Queensland event called Dust Hustle. Now long story short, I picked up a brand new R9T Scrambler. This was a demo bike from BMW. I packed a backpack full of moto gear and headed up the east coast of Australia, making plenty of detours to see friends and experience amazing places along the way. Once at Dust Hustle, I rode this Scrambler to within an inch of its life, and although it was a little beat up, I thought I had done a great job of displaying what the bike can do without completely destroying it. Reality hit though once I got back to the dealership, and they did not appreciate the state that I left this bike in. And after a few tense negotiations, we agreed it would be best for both of us if I bought the bike for a small sum of cash. Since that day, this bike has been the go-to for me, and one that I still thoroughly enjoy riding. Now, in a full circle moment, I got a call the other day from BMW about building one of their new R12 Nine Ts to use at the Urban GS Launch at a flat track event up in Queensland. Now, although the R12 offers so much more customization freedom with its revised fuel tank, airbox and removable subframe, I really wanted to continue with the bike that had given me so many good times. So here we are, the bike's up on the bench. I've stripped it down, cleaned most of the sand, dirt and grime off it, and now it's ready for its transformation. So what's the plan here? Let me run you through it. I need to fix up the exhaust and remove all the dings out of it, and I will use 1 3/4 exhaust tube to remake most of the header system, whilst also improving flow and hopefully unleash some horsepower as a result. One of the largest challenges of this project is the fuel tank. As soon as you move away from the factory fuel tank on the BMW R9T, then you're faced with a bit of a challenge. The reason being is it sits across the frame. Inside the tank it kind of houses the ECU, the ABS unit, the alternator which sits on top of the motor, and also the EFI system, so the fuel pump in there. When you change this out, you don't have really any aftermarket options, so we're going to create something from scratch here. What I have behind me is a tank that I picked up which carries the shape that I really want. This is the timeless aesthetic that I think a Scrambler should have. All I'm going to use on this tank is the outer skin. So I'll cut away the whole tunnel section, and then we'll just be using the outer skin as a tank cover. And then inside here, I'll work on CAD. I'll take a side profile photo of the bike, and then I'll plot out a two-dimensional shape which I think the fuel tank should fit. I'll perfect that, and then we'll get into the process of building an aluminium fuel tank which hopefully holds just as much fuel as the stock tank, so it can get plenty of miles in, and also lowers the center of gravity of the fuel in the bike because we've removed the airbox, so the EFI pump can sit down low near the gearbox of this bike, and that will make handling so much better, and hopefully will hold plenty of fuel and the aesthetic will look just right. Replacing the airbox will be 2 air filters from K&N. These are part number RE960, and they're a perfect fit in the R9T. So essentially these will go straight on the throttle bodies here. They give you plenty of leg room, and we'll be covering these with a waterproof cover which lets air in but it doesn't let water in, because these are so exposed. I think that's important. Taking care of the lights, I picked up a 4.5-inch LED headlight, which will sit nice and flush up against the frame here. I'll drop this down nice and low to give it that Scrambler aesthetic. I'm also going to drop the speedo down, so there's a lot of negative space between the speedo and the headlight, so that'll fill in that void there, and we'll hopefully get that nice and close to the triple clamp as well. And then I'm going to do something fun and add on a couple of spotlights either side of the oil cooler here. I've got some covers coming for these as well, which will add to the aesthetic for the bike. But that pretty much covers the lighting of this bike. We're going to run pretty much stock items out the back here. Other bits and pieces to note, I've taken off the hand grips. These are heated and difficult to remove because they're glued on to the heated hand grips, and they're wired in. So I've cut away all the rubber here, and I'll be adding some of my favourite rental grips, which I run on mountain bikes, my motorbikes as well, and they just feel nice. It's what I ran as a kid when I raced motocross. So I'll put a couple of those onto this bike. We'll carefully try and get them over the heated hand grips, because it is nice to ride to and from the trail with a bit of comfort. So yeah, we'll put those on as well. And then other items, tyres, I'm going to upgrade. I've got some on the way, and I'll cover those in detail when I fit them up. But yeah, it's going to be a fun bike. We're not changing too much. It's already got 110 horsepower, so we don't need really that much horsepower. But yeah, this is going to be a fun build, so stay tuned.